I never sound good anyway, so I'm just going to do it. The Flummery, episode 20. The Flummery 20. Can you believe it? Me neither. Anyway, we are live once again with our friend Jason Michael, who we got to know in episode 15. Since then, he and his band have been touring the West Coast, and we hope to get into that for a while. Also, we want to mention real quick that Jason and his band Cold Kingdom will be doing Northern Invasion again on May 14th, right?
Mother's Day.
Yeah, Mother's Day. Awesome. So go buy your friggin' tickets. So welcome to the Flummery with War Machine to my left and Jason Michael to my right.
I'm back.
Nice. Let's get it on. Jason, how are you?
Pretty good, man.
Thanks for coming back, dude.
Always a pleasure. I stayed with you guys while I was gone and listened to every episode while I was on the road. So
which is awesome.
I'm up to date. I know all the bullshit you guys been talking about.
We do what we can here.
We did some Turkeyology last show.
Scientology mixed with your hunting.
Yeah, we won't do that too often.
Whatever.
I didn't get to tell you the glorious
get into it because I was watching.
Stories.
I got into that subject because I was watching a bunch of stuff that week about Scientology, so I brought it up.
Well, people love hearing about Scientology. I literally remember we got a message from Nick, or it was either Nick or I think it was Nick. He's like, "Love the Scientology stuff." I was like, all right. Yeah. So, and my buddy Tim had the same thing. He's like, I listen to Scientology shit all day. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I haven't listened to. That's one thing on the road. I listened to you guys. I got all the podcasts with you guys, but I kind of fell off the Rogan train, which I usually listen to Rogan every day.
He had his like I said, he had David Miscavige's dad on, which is a kind of a sad story, but.
Well, I listened to the one with I forget her name, but
Leah Remini.
Yeah, the chick from Kings of Queens, and she kind of went into like how crazy that whole organization is. And
I'm still not so like on board with feeling bad for David Miscavige. Because it's like
I feel bad for his dad, but his dad didn't really. If you listen to that episode,
his dad. Actually, no. What was his dad's name again?
Ron.
Ron. Okay, Ron. That's who I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ron had no really. If you watch that podcast, he had no real remorse. Like he was just like, if I could change it, Joe was like, I don't feel bad for you guys. Like he's like, well, it is what it is, and that's kind of how he played it.
He did it.
Right. He got him doing it.
It's a cult.
Right.
Drink the punch and go to bed.
For sure it is. That will eventually happen. Like once David Miscavige decides his ship has sailed and he's not going to be doing it anymore, you know, it's not working anymore, he's going to try and convince as many people as he can to kill themselves. Yeah. That's how those guys are. It's crazy.
One day.
I just think it's weird how they get people to invest in that and they just have a bunch of empty churches sitting around.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. I saw them.
There's one in St. Paul.
Even out on the West Coast, I saw like the Church of Scientology.
Did you? Well, yeah, the biggest, the headquarters is in like L.A. or Anaheim or whatever.
So.
Yeah, I think I saw it in Anaheim.
You were there. You played there, right?
Yep. It was the last day.
What was the venue?
The House of Blues.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was really sweet.
That was one of your last LA ones, wasn't it? Or your California ones?
Yeah, that was the last date of the tour.
That looks cool. Actually, I looked at that House of Blues up. It's like one of the most impressive ones I've seen, actually.
I still think the Chicago House of Blues is a little more impressive.
It's cool, man.
It's a really good experience. I'm so glad that we did it.
It's so like artsy.
I don't usually do stuff like that for
artsy fartsy. It's cool. It's like a space turtle, and then you go inside, and it's like the Kitty Cat Club in the decorations are like the Kitty Cat Club in Northeast.
It's like anyone who's really into art and music, like that's how when they were in college, probably how their room looked. You know what I mean? With a little more expensive art.
They all look a little different because we played 2 different House of Blues on the tour, and I still think Chicago is the best, but Anaheim was close second.
It's a newer one though.
Yeah.
Where Chicago is like a 1960s building actually.
Yeah,
I think it was built in. We were talking to
you were really
the bartender
taken with the building.
Yeah, I was. I'm into
like
architecture.
The inside a little bit.
I'm into architecture, so we were talking to him from the bartender from Harry Carey, and he's like, I was there. That bartender was like, he lived there. He's been bartending there for like 22 years. Didn't he say something like that?
I think so. At Harry Carey's.
Yeah, and then that's what
sell you a beer.
It's just right around the corner from that, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I've been here 22 years, and he's like. He's like that building was built in the 60s.
Yeah, he said it was something else, of course. But
yeah, before it was.
And then it was the 90s. We looked it up. It was like 92.
92 they came around.
Yeah,
which is awesome. I'm glad they did. I was more impressed when we talked to the bartender downstairs in kind of the jazz lounge area.
Yeah,
the blues lounge. I guess not jazz.
Well, it's like the restaurant slash.
Yep.
Lounge, yeah.
Yeah, for like smaller acts. But
it's so weird how they have that downstairs to the stage.
Well, I was going to say, like, she's the one who pointed out to us that there's hydraulics in the floor.
Yeah, because we're like, how does that? Because cool. One of the questions I asked them, I'm like, there's this show with all these fucking people, and you guys are down here, and I'm like, how can you not hear that? They're like, all we do. And she's like, we had some Japanese people hiding under the table after some people were like jumping on the floor.
When we played in Reno. We played at the Grand Sierra Resort, which it's a casino, but that is one of the biggest stages in North America or whatever. It's like one of the deepest stages. There was a plane in the background, and there's all this like stage stuff. It was crazy, and they had one of those.
I don't know if I saw. Did you have any pictures of
that? Yeah, I think I did post a picture, but it was really cool because the day before. When we were in Chico, Brent from Shinedown came up to us and was telling us about how that's one of his favorite theaters on the tour and even in North America. And it was crazy because in the whole middle of the stage drops down into a basement. So like when they were loading out, they their semi pulls into the garage downstairs, and then when they get all their stuff together to load out, they all push it into the middle of the stage, like how it goes into the semi, and then the whole middle of the stage drops down to a basement, and then they just push it into the semi.
Wow.
It was pretty cool to stand there.
Kind of fucking mind blown with that.
It is cool watching videos of bands pack their semis.
Yeah. Well, I got to see some of this stuff firsthand and like see the behind the scenes of a lot of this stuff, and it's crazy. Like I kept on making the joke of like Spinal Tap. There's a lot of these theaters or stuff that we would play, and you go like there's sometimes there's signs that go like where the catering is or where your dressing room is or whatever, and half the time you're like walking around through this like labyrinth of hallways and you're like, I have no idea what you have to stop and like, hey, I'm in the band, how do I get to right. It was pretty crazy though. We played some really nice venues.
What was that, Eureka? Is that like was it Eureka, California? It was like a fucking barn?
No, that was Medford, but that was the biggest crowd that we played for. It was like almost,
it looked big.
Almost
it wasn't it was weird because it was like a big fucking awesome. Barn.
Yeah, well, they do like rodeos and stuff in there, so what
was the attendance at that?
Almost 4,000. That's
it was almost 4,000. It was just under 4,000, and that got pretty that show got pretty crazy. But yeah, so it's like we pull up. It's in a fairgrounds, and we thought it was outside. We ended up not playing. I thought that was the one that was going to be outside, but we didn't play outside on any.
Has Shinedown played there before?
In California, then.
I don't think they played there before.
So that's like a new one for them too.
A lot of these venues on this tour were very new, that like things that they didn't play. It was because it was, I mean, this was a different kind of tour for them. This was kind of a warm up, you know. The tour that they went on with Five Finger Death Punch earlier in the year, or I guess later in the year.
Were they support for them? Or were they
yeah, they were support for Five Finger Death Punch. But the whole reason of this tour is they are now in Europe right now, opening up for Iron Maiden, and the whole
wow, that's a pretty good gig.
Yeah. The whole reason that they put this tour together is because they wanted to kind of strip it down, and you know, when they do the stadium tours, you know, there's like crazy pyro going off everywhere, and obviously they couldn't have that opening for Iron Maiden, so they wanted to strip it down and just have it be just about the music and really, you know, really get fine-tune that. And
Well, so that's good for them.
That's why, cool. Like the House of Blues in San Diego that we played is pretty small. Everything's like stacked.
Oh, I saw a picture of it. Everything's like there's a balcony, right?
Yeah, it feels like the balcony is right over
you. Right there. I mean, like I saw a picture. Look at like right there.
Yeah,
it's not very big.
It's more of probably like our Twin Cities theaters.
It's almost like a fine line. It's almost like a fine line, but like closer and
like an old style theater, right?
It kind of felt like, I don't know if you've ever been to the Metro in Chicago. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Metro. Been there. But it just feels like the balcony is right above you, and then
is that Metro? Is that a Metro dude or like a stage?
Stage. It's like there's a lot of Metro in Chicago.
It's like a concert, like a classical concert venue, right?
No, it's just no.
Are the balconies stacked like that though, where they're real close? Because that reminds me of all the old theaters.
Yeah,
lots of the old theaters have.
Yeah, I mean the Metro in Chicago is pretty old. That's kind of where Smashing Pumpkins made their name and everything. But it is like, it feels like the balcony is right on top of you. Like you could reach out and
give people high fives.
Yeah, touch somebody that's sitting up in the balcony.
He's on stage and he's like, "The world is a vampire," and then he can like grab somebody by the neck from the second balcony.
Sure.
I just went there with it. It's no big deal. Just off on a little tangent.
But no, it was every night of the tour was just amazing. It was a dream come true of going from playing around the Midwest and bars and stuff, and we noticed on that month that we did every weekend before we left for tour, we noticed that our crowds were getting bigger everywhere we went. But these are places that we've played repeatedly over the last 2 years, so to kind of see that growth at home, and then to go out to the West Coast, and then now you're playing in front of at least 1,000 people every night, and it was just it was a dream come true. Nobody can ever take that away from.
I would almost say it's better than it's one thing to play like a Wembley or something, but like you have those like mid-sized crowds and stuff. That's like
all the biggest,
best.
All the biggest bands, right? Talk about that.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I remember, the more intimate, which for them is like 1,000 to 4,000 people, but for you, it's like you're on your way up, and then you'll be reminiscing about that later. Like, yeah, it was so much fun to do that.
Yeah, I think there's just, when you get to those huge stadiums and stuff, I think there's more of a disconnect because it's so much bigger. Like I had a problem on that Reno stage, the huge one. I like playing a small, like the stage. I like being really close to my band members and kind of feeding off their energy. And that was one to where
you're so spread out.
We were so spread out.
You should play Rice Lake sometime.
I felt naked. I felt exposed, just standing, and I had so much room around me, and I was like, right. It was harder for me to go off. Like the other guys and Danny, they said they enjoyed it, but it's preference.
Right.
It's if we had any female listeners, they would have liked it when you described yourself as naked and exposed. I'm just gonna throw that
in Reno, naked and exposed in Reno.
Hey guys, like Nick Swartzen, who was here last night.
Oh, was he here?
Yeah, he was at Mystic, and I guess we missed a pretty awesome show.
See, I tried watching his stand up, and I don't like it. I think he does better acting.
He does better.
I think that's probably one that you have to be there,
right?
Which I love.
Yeah.
Like I watched one. I think I watched a special on Netflix of his, and I was like, I really didn't get into it.
Yeah, I liked the special, but they said that this was way better. The show was just really great. But anyway, off topic, but.
It's all right. That's what
we talked about Reno, so I was thinking
Reno 911.
Yeah, front to back of the tour. I think my favorite show that we played was in Chico, California, which was right after. We played Medford, Oregon, which was the huge, crazy one, and then we played Eureka, California, the next night, which was really weird because it was in
North California.
It was in like a gym.
Yeah,
it was in a gymnasium with basketball hoops and stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Humboldt County, so just everybody was stoned out of their mind.
Were they really?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've noticed that a lot of California now, just everywhere you go, you smell weed. But that one was like all the stagehands were just ripped, and one of the stagehands. Yeah, one of the stagehands. Well, I mean, Humboldt County is famously known for its marijuana growth, and before it was legal, quote unquote, like a lot of the weed you get in the U.S. probably came out of Humboldt County. But so one of the stagehands, after we were done helping us pack up, he's like, "Yeah, man, have you been able to take in everything that Humboldt County is about?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't really partake." And he goes, "Oh, well, I was gonna give you this," and he pulls out like a bud, like a flower, like this long, and he's like, "You want it, man?" I was like, "Sure." I gave it to somebody else because I wasn't really gonna smoke it, but when in Rome,
why didn't you bring it here?
Well, it probably wouldn't.
Daddy likey.
I got some other things. I got some other things for you that I was gonna give you off air. Because
what am I talking about? It's taken me like a month and a half to smoke a bud about this big.
Yeah, well, when we went out there, we stopped in Denver, which I didn't.
Did I just disclaim that I smoke pot?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's why I was gonna give it to you off air, but when we made the trip out there, I didn't realize. Oops. I know, Denver and Oregon is actually recreational. Anybody can walk into a dispensary and get whatever you want. In all of California, you still need a card.
You need a
really,
and Vegas.
I thought that
too.
they passed recreational in California.
They did, but it hasn't gone into effect yet. So I think at like a certain. I think in like July or something.
Kind of like how Minnesota just finally passed the booze on Sundays, but it doesn't come into effect till July.
Yeah.
So I walked into my first dispensary in Denver, and like I said, I don't really.
That's where Justin's brother lives and is working.
Yeah, I know what he does.
Yeah.
But it was so weird. Like I just wanted to go in and check it out.
Right? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I've never been in a dispensary before. I wanted to see what it was all about.
Don't they? In some areas, like you have to stand in a line because they don't let so many.
No,
people.
yeah, it was. So you walk into this
like any store, right? Or
no,
like a pharmacy.
No.
No, you walk into this building, which is weird because there's other businesses there. So you walk in and there's like a reception area to where they're like, "Hey, how you doing? I just need you to sign in here." And they're like, "Hey, have you ever been in a dispensary?" Blah blah blah. They're like, "Oh, here you just you kind of." You go out, you get your groceries on the way home, you pick up your weed, and it's just the norm there. So then they only let you go into the actual store in groups. So the first half went in there, and then the second half of us went in there, and I went in with Zach and Evan, who don't smoke weed at all. They were just there
sightseeing.
Yeah, same reason as me. They just wanted to see what it was all about.
Yeah, I would too. That'd be great.
It felt so weird because you still feel like. I still felt like, oh man, we're gonna get in trouble for going in.
I know,
here.
isn't
like
it crazy?
Somebody's gonna yell at us. But then you go in, and it's just like it's a store, and they're like, hey, we have pre-rolled joints, and we have edibles over here, and what were you looking for? What kind of high are you looking for? And I was like, I don't know, man. It makes me paranoid. I just kind of want to check it out. And the other two guys just kind of had their hands in their pockets and were like. They're in there for like a minute, just looked around and were like, all right, we got to go. We got to go. But I felt bad, so I bought Lance some things.
Did they walk in and they go,
it is Wednesday, my dudes.
That's awesome. That's the first time that's really like applied in the right spot. Like, my dudes. Have another. My dudes.
It was a cool experience. But
it is classic like Minnesotan kind of, like you said, we just got booze that you can buy on Sundays, which is blue laws here are ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But for them to be kind of like, I don't really feel comfortable here. Ding, 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 ding. You know, like I get it.
I was just like,
because I would feel the same way. I think
I felt bad not buying anything, so I was like, just give me some of those brownie things over there, and I spent like
$480.
No, it's like, well, that's the thing is it's really cheap.
Yeah,
it's really cheap.
Yeah,
it's good.
But
it is.
Yeah, and then I got out of there and was like, all right, I did it. Cool, I saw it.
Was it like totally a strip mall or something?
No, it was more like I don't know how to describe it, but it was just like a building that kind of looked like an apartment building, but there was a whole bunch of different offices in there.
Jeff's fucking apartment building.
And the neighbors, like the neighboring businesses, in each of the businesses, there's two kinds of people. There's all the regular people, three kinds of people, all the regular people. And then who smoke sometimes, blah, 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 or whatever. And don't mind, don't really give a shit, whatever. And then there's like probably two extremes. Like the one lady or guy who's like, oh man, I'm going over there on my lunch break. And he's just loving it. And then, let's say it's a chick just like, every time I come in here, I bump into a dirty hippie.
Well, you walked into the door to the building and it just reeked of weed.
Yeah.
So they have to work with that every day.
I
or they get to work with that every
I can't
day.
even stand that. And like I had some dude walk in last night and he's been,
my dudes.
And he walked outside and came back in and just fucking, obviously we knew what he was doing. He was smoking
Oh, you mean...
pot.
I don't want to say.
What? No. No, not him. But another dude walked in, and I go, "Hey, man, like I walked over to him, and I was like, I couldn't take it. I'm like, you need to go outside for about 5 minutes and just let yourself fucking air out, and then you can come back in."
But see, isn't that such a weird stigma that we still have about it? Like, you go out there, and
everything smells like pot.
I don't mind the smell.
Like weed. Everybody smells like weed, and it's like if you were to call somebody out like that, they'd be like, "Fuck you, dude! Like, what's your problem?"
Right.
Here, we're still like, "Dude, you smell." But see, like
the thing for me is like it. Oh man, I don't like smell. Busted. Like, it bothers me. It's like somebody farting almost.
I like
it's like somebody smelling like cigarettes, or
a little bit better than cigarettes. But I will say this: I think, in my opinion, the best plan would be if you do recreational marijuana, which I think every state should. But I mean, to each their own. That's why it's the United States. That's why we're how we are. It's broken up like that, which is good. But what I'm talking about is just if I'm making it legal and I'm like the guy passing the bill or the guy signing it, the governor or whatever, I've got a stipulation in there that it's either edibles or vaporized. And that way you completely eliminate, because there's nothing wrong with it, first of all. It should be legal.
Right.
But you completely eliminate the carcinogen effect. You know what I mean? Like, you're not smoking. Well, I mean, so the public, so if you're the government, your job, the only thing you should be worried about is public health.
Even in places
in that whole thing.
Even like in places like Denver and Oregon or whatever. Local say.
You can say it however the hell you want to say it. We don't give a fuck.
They still, I mean...
Yeah, there's a correct way to pronounce it.
We're not going to give a shit, though, are we?
You're still not... even as recreational, you can't just stand on the corner of the street
and smoke a J, right? Yeah.
Smoke
which is fine. I like it. But if I'm passing it, I'm just saying, hey, guys, this is totally legit, but I feel responsible if we're going to do this for the public health aspect, and that is never going to go away. But the good news is there's ways you can do it that are completely healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think you just, oh, man, it'd be great. I think that'd be the best way to go. Because I don't like the idea of people getting, their lungs all fucked up, but I'm not running their lives either. Really so if it were a pass it no matter what, I'm much more for that than putting people in jail and paying for a crime that is not even a fucking crime. You know what I mean? Like,
booze is worse than fucking weed.
I completely agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna grab a beer.
Wow.
But yeah, it was it was very weird, like kind of how the whole first half of the tour felt completely different than the second half of the tour.
What do you mean?
Just going from... Oh, I have to tell a story. But, so, there was only 12 dates that we actually played on the whole tour, but we were gone for about a month. Right. It's because we made the trek out there.
20-some days.
Yeah, 20-some days.
Yeah.
So we, after the Fine Line
King
show...
Obvious, yeah.
After the Fine Line show, we had 2 days at home, and then we took off for the first stop. We made it all the way to Omaha, Nebraska, and then
I actually love that town.
We met up with our friends in the band Screaming for Silence, and then had a couple of drinks there, then pulled off to a truck stop, grabbed some sleep, and then...
you guys were going on to Arizona, right? Sure.
Yeah, that was our destination.
Right.
Well, New Mexico. But... So then we went and drove all the way to Denver, stayed in Denver for 2 nights because I have a friend there and Evan has some family and friends there. So we spent some time there.
And Denver's just another great place to be, right?
Denver was one of my favorite cities that we got to stop in. Like, downtown Denver is really cool.
Sorry.
I really enjoyed it. But from there, we were going to meet up with the Shinedown guys because they had
a show before you guys...
Before everybody else could get on, yeah. They had a show at a casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we knew that we were welcome there, and we went down there and just to meet up with all the guys, say hi, and watch their show. And so we're all standing around waiting for the show to start because it was just Shinedown on the bill. And then I hear, hey, man, Rex Brown is standing right over there. I was like, Rex
from Pantera?
Rex Brown from Pantera is standing backstage.
That's a bass player, Adam, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I was like, oh man, I gotta go see what this is all about. And I walked out the back door to the smoking area, and he was talking to Chris and Zach, smoking cigarettes, and he was just nice dude. He lives down there, and he was showing
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was showing us pictures like, yeah, I just rolled my truck the other day. We hit some black ice going through the mountains, and he was we just
like my worst fear ever.
We were just making chit chat, and I was like, holy shit, I'm just standing here having a real conversson with Rex Brown from fucking Pantera.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he said we were talking about drinking or something. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know, I used to drink a lot of Crown Royal back in the day. I think we made some videos about it or something. And I was like, yeah, I know, I've seen them. Well, he's talking about all the Pantera videos,
the old VHSs and stuff.
Yeah, which I grew up on. You know, to me that's
you know what, I did the same thing, but with Iron Maiden. Like, had all their VHSs, and I had the video where they in Europe. Yeah, oh yeah, they had
that
freaking. Oh yeah, me and my brother loved them. And my favorite was the stage when Eddie came out of the stage. The drummer was on his head, and it fucking went up like 50 feet in the air, and then they're out on his hands, and those go up like 40 feet in the air. I'm like, that is a fucking production.
They fucking they don't. They've never. That band has never done anything shy but fucking amazing.
No,
well, you know, the band that we were on tour with, As Lions. The singer of As Lions is Bruce Dickinson's son.
Oh, for real?
Are you serious?
I did not know
Austin
that.
Dickinson. Yep.
Oh, really?
And I did have it here. I did want to talk about. Obviously, we mentioned Shinedown with, of course, the headliners in Cold Kingdom. We're talking about Cold Kingdom, and we did want to mention As Lions because Danny had a nice post about everybody too. But so tell us a little bit about them, since we're getting into it anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, they were the nicest guys that we could possibly meet on that tour.
Awesome.
Shinedown, unbelievably nice dudes, and I mean we were a little worried. Like we've met the Shinedown guys before. We know that they're pretty cool, but we're like, all right, there's this band coming over from the UK. You know, we hope that they're not assholes.
Does his son fly them too?
No.
Is he a commercial pilot as well?
No, but so the first day of the actual tour in Tucson, we got to meet them. They rolled in after us, and right away Austin, the lead singer, comes up and he's like, hey man, how you doing? I'm Austin. And you know, they have the English accents, and just right away I was like, all right, these guys are fucking cool. And we actually made, I mean, we're like, I'd say that we're pretty good friends with them now. Like they're like, hey mates, anytime you're over, and you know, bring your families on holiday to London, and like you guys have a place
holidays
to stay.
Vacation.
Yeah. We learned a lot. We learned a bunch of new words from them, but no, I'm
friends with a guy from Australia who lived in London for several years, so I know all the jargon.
Yeah, it was
all the dialect.
I mean, we hung out the whole tour with those guys, and we were kind of partners in crime. Every night after the shows, we would drink with them and go out to a club here and there and go get in trouble with them. But
I like that Burke impression from the drummer.
Yeah, Dangerous Dave Fee, which is funny. When I first met him, he came up to me and he's like, "Hi mate, my name's Dave Fee." I was like, "Oh, your name's Davey." And like later on, I was like, "Hey, Davey."
His last name is Fee?
Yeah. Later on, I was like, "Davey." He's like, awesome. "No, mate, my name's Dave." I was like, "I thought you said it was Davey." He's like, "No, Dave Fee. Dave Fee."
Not Davey. Dave Fee.
Where did that impression come from? He didn't know Burke, so
no, that he didn't even know Burke. But we were trying to get him to do
awesome.
his American accent and it was funny because he was doing all the hand gestures and everything just like Burke does. It was, when you see something in the corner of the room, just the way that he announced things. We were fucking dying that night, man. And I was all fucked up. I was like, "No, say Batman."
I could
like, "No, mate, I'm not going to say Batman."
They don't like Batman? I could tell you guys were drinking because I saw Zach and he looked like he was a couple whiskeys in.
Oh yeah.
Batman is a proper twat.
We had some good times with those guys.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's a pretty good story. I love that.
What's their next move? What are they going back home?
They're on tour still. They stayed on tour. After our tour ended, they met up with POD in Texas and did a couple of Texas dates with them. And right now they're on tour with Nothing More.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
I think
I haven't heard about them in a long time.
Who? Nothing More?
Why?
I mean, they're not. They haven't been pretty prevalent in the last year, but like they were.
Are you sure you know who Nothing More is? Because you didn't know who the Contortionists were.
I didn't know it. Correct. Oh,
you might be thinking of a different band.
No, I think I've heard Nothing More a couple of times.
So
have they been around for a while, right? And they
just
5-6 years,
like the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, then I fucking don't know who Nothing More is.
Mr. MTV, Ballast.
Okay,
that album's all pretty legit.
That album blew the fuck up.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Like I saw them in Minneapolis a couple years ago. They were the direct support for 12 Foot Ninja, and that was in the Skyway.
And that's a crazy band.
They played at the Skyway in like Room B, which was just a
12 Foot Ninja did too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was like right after that Ballast started to blow up and was like everywhere. And now I mean they're doing huge. They're playing the same day as us at Northern Invasion. So
cool.
So if you haven't heard,
what do you think of that?
If you haven't heard them before, Adam,
just do it.
Yeah. Everybody just do it.
Yeah, no, I'm always picking up new stuff recently, so I'm kind of enjoying that whole wave.
That whole aspect.
I already pulled out the aspect. I'm literally enjoying that.
The whole little
a new wave.
Yeah.
My wife likes it better too than when I was like, I bought this like 1984 Ranger, and the back tires were bigger than the front tires, and it had one speaker in the dash, and it was a straight stick. Mm-hmm. And I bought it for like $400. Is that why she
married you?
No, this was after we were married.
Oh.
And just a few years ago.
I like a big guy in a big truck.
A big guy in a little truck. Big guy in a little truck. So I'm ramming around in that thing, and pretty soon I like turned country on because it's the only thing that sounded right in there. Like it reminded me of riding the bus. And I'm like, my wife was like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is not you." It's like, "When are you going to get over your country phase?" And I'm like, it's going to be short lived.
You got to make the car. Adam,
you listen
don't let
to
the car make you.
Exactly. I had like a 9-month spurt where I'm like, but then
you are from fucking
then I listened to a couple things and I had to go back and listen to like the old shit again. Wow. It only lasted a few weeks with the new shit because it's horrible. But the rest
now country like pop, main country's like got a hip hop beat in the background.
It's pop.
It's horrible. It is pop. That's exactly what I say. I agree. It's pop. The music industry has taken it over and moved it into the pop genre.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
I can't sit here and talk the ins and outs of mainstream country.
And really me neither. But I had
from
that
what
phase.
I can tell, it's just pop songs, and they're all it's just like modern pop. They're all the same. A lot of them have the same elements to every song, and but hey, they fucking make a lot of money and sell a lot.
If they entertain people, that's fine. But it's just not my thing. And she was right. It was like I was just doing it because it was kind of kitschy, and I'm like, just jamming around, and I used to and then I called the truck Willie Nelson. Because all it did was haul sticks and grass. That's what we used it for.
America.
Willie Nelson.
It's funny how
Willie Nelson. Okay.
Anyways. Yeah. For sure.
It was pretty cool when we were in Sacramento. The first night we were there, it was the first night of the NHL playoffs when the Wild played. And so we all found this bar called Sacktown. Went with a bunch of guys to a place called Sacktown.
Wait.
I wish I could have set that one up.
A little bit?
But so we walk in, and everybody eats and whatnot, and we're waiting for the game to come on. And then...
I'm sorry. Sacktown. Change the fucking... Is it Sack with a C-K?
S-A-C. S-A-C.
It's the worst
Sacktown,
way.
Sacramento.
Yes, I totally get the reference, but that's the worst way to spell it.
Well, one in Sacramento.
Right.
But
a little sack tap.
So we walked in there to watch, drink and watch hockey, and then just like probably an hour into us being there, then some of the Shinedown crew, which we got to know pretty well, Sparky the guitar tech, and BZ the drum guy, the drum tech, and Mark the vocal tech all walked in, and so we ended up sitting down and getting to know those guys really well.
It must be nice to have like people like that when you're touring, because you don't have to worry about shit about packing.
Well,
come on, man. Shinedown doesn't do.
Well, plus the good thing for you guys, I'm guessing that you're talking to them a lot is because You guys are very technical because you're, a do-it-yourself. We're gonna promote ourselves so far.
We don't have money.
Well, true, but you guys are probably having conversations about stuff each other wants to talk about too.
Well, yeah,
on the technical side, right? Or does that not happen? I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, we actually learned quite a bit from all of them about
cool.
sponsorships and just different gear, and actually we are now the guitar players in Cold Kingdom are now working with SIT strings, and they give us deals on strings and straps, guitar
Not
picks.
familiar with them.
Where are they from?
I don't know where they're out of, but it's a smaller company, and Eric Bass uses SIT.
Oh, so you got a connection through that.
That's cool. And so they, got you some stuff, and
yeah, they got us a hookup, so they give us a deal and all that stuff now, so that helps us out a lot.
That's great.
Strings are huge. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's especially like bass strings and stuff.
Oh, bass strings are.
We got.
We're talking about $35-$40 per round.
Yeah, and I wonder. I bet the prices on those went up when the price for metal went up too.
I don't know.
I bet it did. I'm just saying.
But
stop it. Get some help.
Samuel L. Jackson wannabe.
But we all ended up at that bar to watch hockey because BZ is a big San Jose fan, and then
is that why you're like, oh, San Jose?
No, I just wanted, if the Blackhawks were out, I'd rather see.
What a
San Jose.
fucking weird.
I'm going with the Pens.
What a weird fucking playoffs that was, man. It's like number 1 and 2 in our division, and they both get fucking
people
outed.
Are like outraged, and that's just how hockey is. You get a hot goalie, you get
St. Louis's goalie was on fire.
mediocre shots on goal, and even if you're pounding,
we didn't have a bad series against those guys.
No,
either.
it was fantastic.
I think probably
they played really well.
Hockey is the one sport where the seeding in the playoffs mean the least.
I dislike
any team can come in. Well, I
love watching them. I mean,
it's my favorite time
awesome
of year, man.
games. Yeah, playoff hockey is
St.
the
Louis,
best product. I would say, like of the major sports. Like when it goes into the playoffs, that product gets so much better.
Yeah,
true. But what I don't like, what I'm talking about, is the seeding and how they seed it. I don't like it.
I like it because it's just. I think it's
unique,
anybody can win. Anybody can win. It doesn't like in football. The number one team has home field advantage, and I feel like in hockey, home ice doesn't matter quite as much.
Yeah, you're right.
It eliminates important. Like all the shitty teams, and then you can sit down and watch the NHL playoffs, and you can watch any team, any game, and go like, all right, this is going to be a pretty good fucking game.
Yeah, and it's real consistent. They play tighter, they make less mistakes. There's no fights because it's smarter. They play smarter. They make less mistakes. They skate faster. It looks like a different product than the regular season.
But
which is good.
Well, I want to say that one of the last games of the Wild, there was a fight after the buzzer of the third period. I mean, they were fucking going at it.
Well, that's because they didn't have to worry about coming back on the power play.
Yeah, exactly.
But
who was that?
Yeah, so then the As Lions guys ended up
on Parisi. That's why
the As Lions guys ended up showing up there too. It must have been like the only sports bar in that side of Sacramento or whatever, but it was we had a pretty good night then.
Oh, that was Sacktown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I've been there.
What'd you think of that game? Were you like,
not the sports bar, but I'm in
fucking kidding me with the shots and
the 50-some
shot? Yeah.
To be honest, by the end of it, we were all going pretty crazy, and I wasn't paying attention. I had to ask Evan the next day. I was like, "So did the Wild win or no? I don't remember."
Should have been like 5-1, but I don't want to dwell.
Yeah,
on
we had
that.
58. I think it was like 58 shots on goal.
It ended up being 50 something. It was at least 51, if not 54. But it was like 40. It was like 43 or 44 by the end of regulation. It was a shitload. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Good kudos to Alan for doing such a great job.
Oh fuck, he was outstanding.
I give him credit, but I can't get invested now in the Western Conference.
Well,
I'm going with the Pens.
Even now, I was after San Jose got eliminated, then I was going to go for the Ducks, but it looks like they're about to get eliminated too. So
you just gotta stay. What did I say last week?
Yeah, you were talking shit.
You gotta stay with your team.
Well, it's not that I'm jumping ship on the Blackhawks. I'm just putting my cards in. Okay, who's left in the playoffs? Like now, I want this.
See, it's different for you. You can do that. For me, all those teams have beaten the Wild, right? Like, so it's like, fuck, they could be my rivals. But for you, it's like, well, we usually don't.
I hate St. Louis, so I will not.
I'm on the Nashville. I want Nashville to win.
I don't like Nashville or St. Louis. I'd much rather see like fucking Tampa Bay or something. I don't think
Tampa Bay.
I don't think anybody under the fucking Dixie line, first of all, should play in the hockey league.
The Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah, and it's not
when places like Wisconsin don't have a professional
right. Why doesn't Wisconsin?
Thank God they don't.
What do you mean?
Because then they'd be fucking assholes. You know how they get.
Your wife's from Wisconsin.
You know how they get. Oh, and she claims to be a huge Packers fan. She watches one game a year, and it's in the playoffs.
Hopefully that's the one that they lose.
Yeah. Thank you. We can fucking agree on that shit.
You're like, wife, you should listen to this episode around this time.
Oh, I've told her that many times, but yeah, she.
You weren't too. I asked her last night. I go, hey, you should be on the podcast.
No,
and you're
see,
like,
that's the thing. I will ask her to be on the podcast. I don't need you to ask her. It wasn't her.
You were all
because then she'll come back and be like, you never even asked me to be on the podcast. Lance asked me to be on the podcast.
See? This is what he gets it. This is what I'm talking. I'm like, it's not like I wouldn't do it.
Your butt hurt.
No, I just wanted to ask myself. You don't see me asking your girlfriend or whatever.
Who's that?
Podcast. I don't know. Whoever. Didn't work.
This reminds me of Disneyland.
How was Disneyland?
How were the attractions? Let's see. Did it really suck?
You guys were all pumped. I mean, I know, like...
I went to Disney World, and it was just a bunch of, like...
Morley was all like, I'm at Disneyland.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we were...
Disneyland.
We were pretty pumped to go. We got in... We met the girl who plays...
pictures with the hats. That was cool.
Minnie Mouse. Zach, Danny, and Chris met her 2 years ago, the first year that they went out to NAMM.
Okay.
And so... She came out to the show the night before, and then got us into Disney the next day. And I don't know. It's just way too many people, way too crowded. The rides were kind of shitty.
Right. It's like a hurry up and wait thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, the
You're just checking it off the list. At that point.
It was cool. We got to go there, and it helps that it was for free, and you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was all right, but.
What's admission there?
So did the tour manager kind of set that up, or did her friend?
No, just
Minnie
because Minnie Mouse. Just because
Sorry,
we knew her.
Refer to her as that, but
just because we knew her, she got us in for free and walked us around the park, and it's kind of funny because she's like, oh, all right, I'm going to introduce you to all these people, and then so like we went into the Star Wars part, which I think I sent you a picture of it. The Star Wars part is really cool. They have a lot of really cool stuff to look at, but then there was like. Stand in line for 45 minutes and meet Darth Vader. And I was like, I don't want to do this. She's like, no.
Darth Vader in Key West.
He gets
He's
around.
On the street.
He's like, well,
he's on
a
the
lot like
street
Santa
playing
Claus.
banjo. He was playing a banjo on.
He's a lot like Santa Claus. So he could be anywhere at any time.
That fucker's talented, man. I'll tell you what.
But so it was like, wait 45 minutes to meet Darth Vader. And we're like, all right. So we meet him, and she knows all the guys who are in the costumes, you know. So she's going, you know. And
you're getting introduced to a bunch of people in costumes, right?
Yeah, we're just like, all right, cool. We got our picture taken with Darth Vader, and she's like, no, now we gotta go see Chewbacca because I love the guy that plays Chewbacca.
Was she cute?
So the girl that we were with,
yeah,
she was an older lady. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's still hot though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then we go over there and
Minnie Mouse,
and we had to wait like forever because I guess the Chewbacca that was in the room where you go and meet him wasn't the Chewbacca that she knew, so we had to wait for the guy that she. So that was like the start of Disneyland. And we were like, I was getting antsy. I was like, all right, I need to get some food, and then I need.
You're a pretty patient guy too.
Yeah, I'm pretty patient, but I was starting to lose it because I was a little hungover and I was hungry and I wanted to do something fun. So we finally got some food in us, and then. Like the wait for every line was at least 45 minutes. So
holy shit, every single one.
Pretty much.
I can't. Wow. I don't have the patience.
The only ride I'd
be like, see ya. I'm gonna go fucking down to the boardwalk and
have a beer.
The only ride I ended up going on was the Haunted Mansion, and that was like, it was So the ride kept on breaking down while we were on it, and then we'd get stuck in these rooms where the animations just play over and,
so it's
over and over.
not supposed to happen that way, right? Just to be sure. Like,
and it was like
It's like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah. So we like got stuck in this room because you have to sit in this like pod thing, and it takes you on a track around all these things, and I was so done.
Yeah, it's made for 7-year-olds.
Yeah,
I mean that's what it is.
It was cool to see the Star Wars part, but
right.
Yeah, it was just a long day. But the icing on the cake to that was the night before. This lady was at the show, saw us, and came and talked to Danny at the merch booth for a while, and she goes, "Hey, I'm a GM of a steakhouse right by your guys' hotel. Why don't you come in? We'll hook you up with a free steak dinner." And we tried to come in and be modest, and she's like, no, like you're getting a filet mignon, and you guys are getting dessert. I mean, like, she took care of it.
Wow.
And like we went in there.
Well, if you don't mind, do you remember the name of the steakhouse?
It's called Black Angus.
Cool. So thank you to Black Angus.
Yeah. So, but she was a really nice lady. One of those people that I was really happy that we got to meet.
Go on.
What? I'm sorry.
Are you laughing at Black Angus?
Did you think anus when he said
Totally.
Yeah, we made that joke while we were there. She's like, yeah, like I've never heard that one before.
So basically, when he said Black Angus, you were like, black asshole.
It tasted good.
The steaks were good though.
Yeah, I actually ended up getting the salmon.
That's pretty good.
But it was cool, man. It was.
That's awesome that they hooked you up, though. I mean, there's nothing better than. I mean, we were searching around for steak in Chicago, and then we ended up at Harry Carey's. But
I mean, there was steak everywhere, but it was like.
Well, it was a Sunday night. Everything was closed.
Set it apart, and it would have been cool. Like, I think if I go again, well, I'll probably just go to Ruth's Chris here.
Ruth's Chris. Yeah, they had one in Chicago too.
Dr. Ruth's.
Yeah.
I don't get why it's called.
I don't know if I paid $48 for a steak at Harry Carey's, and I don't think it was worth the $48.
I saw the steak, and it was too thick.
How is that possible?
No, you can't have it too thick.
I like a steak that's about that tall.
There's no height restrictions on a filet mignon like that, dude.
Well, right, I know, but it's just
as long as it's done all the way through.
I'm talking about me.
You can get medallions that are filet mignon that are like 3 inches thick.
Yeah, okay, but I don't get those then.
It's all preference, I guess.
don't get medallions for sure. I never get medallions. I always like a nice wide steak.
The old 96er
between 1 and 2 inches
from Great Outdoors.
Just lay it out.
You gotta finish it all, dude. You gotta finish it all.
I don't think I could finish a 96er because I have a hard enough time with, like, a nice big chuck or whatever.
You do?
Yeah.
I fucking eat the shit out of a steak.
Oh, well, me too, but it's still, if you eat a freaking 17-ounce steak, you're still going to be like, meat.
Just put some wings in front of you, you'll be good.
Yeah. Wings are the way to go.
18 ounces of wings.
Well, last time I was on the podcast, I brought Frosty a gift, so this time I brought Lance a gift.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
Are these
condoms?
I'm like this right now. Yeah. Are they Magnums?
No, there was a really
for sure,
cool,
obviously.
Awesome.
There was a really cool Star Wars shop.
Oh, sweet!
That's awesome. Thank you, Jason.
And
that's a Star Wars wallet with a Millennium Falcon on it.
It's really cool.
I'm using it. I need a new wallet anyway. Thank you, Jason. That's awesome. You put money in this? Is there?
That's the other.
Is that from Vegas?
Yeah.
Where they go?
It's the Flappers, man.
Yeah.
It's a hooker card.
Oh, she's hot.
Don't wreck it.
I don't know if she'll travel long distance.
Tia's $69 special.
But it's how much is the plane ride? Spirit, $70.
Yeah.
Spent $140.
Horrible. I flew Spirit once. It sucks.
But that's actually from Anaheim. When the last night of the tour at that House of Blues, it was in like this like strip of different businesses and stuff.
Yeah, that's $69.
And there was this building, this shop called, like, I think it's called Next, if I remember right. But it was like Nerd City, Boner City. It was like I could have spent so much money in that shop. They had like really cool Star Wars stuff, really cool Batman stuff. There was like a 6-foot tall Batman, like life size, bulging out.
You had a boner.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Mike was with me. He's like, "Yeah, we gotta go. You're gonna spend way too much money in here." But Yeah, I saw that one.
That's right. He went on tour with you guys too. How'd that go with him?
Yeah, he was our road dog. We are so thankful that we were able to bring him out with us, and he really helped us out.
Did he do your lights and stuff then?
No, we weren't really allowed to. I mean, there was a house guy for all that stuff, and we needed more help, like somebody watching merch and helping us.
Oh, I get
merch.
it.
And
you need a 6 band member. In my in my opinion, you need.
He had to love that.
Well, I mean, that's what he does.
He's been on tour with other bands, too.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, so he was very experienced and kind of taught us some things about, like, merch countouts at the end of the night. And, like, he handled a lot of that. And he was really good at selling merch, too. So he helped us out in a bunch of different ways of, like, just helping us with our gear, loading it in, loading it out, setting up merch, watching the merch and everything. So... yeah, shout out to Mike Grothy for being the road dog.
Sweet dog.
Saving the day.
Very nice dude.
Yeah. Plus,
so he has done that before, huh?
Yeah, he
interesting gig to get into.
Yeah, he usually works with a band called 3 Pill Morning, which is another Minneapolis band. But that's what he's trying to, how he's trying to make his career of he does lights a lot of the times, or he's just kind of trying to be a jack of all trades. And
Tommy Hillman's kind of like that too. Remember?
Yeah.
He does that kind of stuff too.
I don't know. Does he still do it though?
Yeah, he went. Well, I know he went on tour with Animals as leaders and did that,
really?
and then he got hooked up with what's that sludgy California band that we listened to that went on tour with him one time too. Intronaut. He's been on tour with him too.
So, yeah. Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, he's kind of gone that route too.
Band you were talking about.
But and I know. As Lions just kind of made Grothy an offer to go out with them. So
really?
Yeah, I have to check in for the rest of their tour in the U.S. So I have to check in with him, see if he's going to do that. But I think that's I hope he does, because those guys are really awesome, and
it's a pretty cool gig to have. Just kind of you get to.
It's not always easy.
I mean, it's not.
Probably pretty fast paced once. Everything's set up.
Does he have his own place, or is he kind of renting, or what's he doing?
Selling and closing up. I bet that whole experience is probably pretty,
it'll wear on you.
Yeah, like
especially if you don't get all if you don't get all the satisfaction of like being up on stage and people coming and talking to you. Yeah. You're just kind of a guy behind the scenes, but you have to love it to do it.
You get to see cool shows and you get to see cool places.
He's surrounded by that whole aspect all the time.
Yeah, but him and his girlfriend have a house in Columbia Heights.
Oh, okay.
So he.
I don't think I've ever met his girlfriend.
Claire. No, she's a good human being. But yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
That's all right. I have a question for you.
Next topic.
You have a question?
I think you kind of went over this a little bit, but I wanted to.
Are you sure about that?
What was your favorite show again? Do you want to what do you think your favorite? We could go like venue, but like overall best, because the last show was really awesome. I watched it live.
Yeah, we could talk about the Fine Line show for a minute if you guys want to.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, Lance?
It was good. It's a nice turnout.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it.
It was packed.
It was, and it was crazy.
Even though that Kevin's, there's always sound issues. Kevin's guitar was just blaring through my monitor the whole time, and it's like. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick it, but like I said something to him the first time, and it's like, well, you just got to continue to play, and I did, and I was like,
yeah, those things are always going to happen, right. And it's
he's just fucking blaring. I couldn't even hear myself.
Yeah, it's.
I'm surprised it wasn't worked out ahead of time.
I saw it was great.
Did sound check, right?
Yeah, we did, and when we played, then we started playing, and it was totally different.
Oh.
So whatever, shit happens.
That's even on the tour that we were just at, like we'd get our own sound check and we'd get to run 2 songs and make sure that everything sounded great through the monitors.
You only got a 25-minute set too, right?
They actually ended up starting us 5 minutes early after like the second show, and they're like, get another song in there. We want
that's
you guys
cool.
to play
awesome.
a full half an hour, which Charlie at stagehand. I don't know if that was just him or somebody told him to do that, but
he probably realized that you guys were.
We were winning over the crowds.
Yeah, the way that each song goes by, it seems like so fast because they're so you just get pumped up, and those songs
half
are better.
An hour would be good. Like
you can do more
I've
of
played
those,
20-minute set before,
instead of some places where you're doing
you play like a 20-minute set. It's like it's not even real. It's like you just get up there and you're like, what?
Even
happened?
a half an hour, even a half an hour in front of tons of people, you're like, it feels like you just start breaking a sweat.
Yeah, nobody's
gonna
get
song
bored.
and you're done. But you know, we were winning over the crowds and stuff. I mean, I think if we went up there and sucked, they would have been like, let's start you 5 minutes later, actually, and you cut your set. But
well, that obviously says something about you guys. So I mean, you know,
you're dealing with real professionals on that tour and who know what they're doing, and they're telling you, hey, we want more. So I would say that's. I'm sure somebody told them, they're getting the crowd amped up, so keep them going.
But to stay on topic of the Fine Line show, I mean, I was just fucking. It was so great to see like so many people just show up. Like from the time you guys went on, the first band, to the end of the night, like the crowd stayed consistent.
Yeah,
usually it was cool.
Usually people start showing up, and you know, I figured you guys would play to a big crowd, but like. The room was already full.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. If anything, I saw people leaving throughout the night, you know?
Right.
So, I was super happy that people showed up early and stayed. You know, it was warm in there, and it was cramped. It was nuts to butts, and people were complaining
One
about
of my favorite expressions.
the upstairs.
It was warm, man. I was sweating. After I got done playing, I couldn't stop sweating. Like, I mean, I couldn't cool down.
Yeah, it was warm. I was all right, but I was real comfortable, and the crowd was really good. You got into most, like, you could tell certain parts of the crowd were there to see a certain band, but they got into everybody else too.
Yeah.
Those are actually really good lineup.
I was really impressed. I want to say this, like Arson City guys, I thought they were fucking awesome.
And it was great to see them get over on the crowd, because you know, for them that was a
lot of people that came to see us were really happy with them guys.
Yeah, a lot of people came up to me and said how good Arson City was too, and I mean, I knew that. They're huge in Omaha,
right?
Like they took us
very
down there.
Fucking nice guys, man. I was fucking chatting with them downstairs. They were nice fucking guys, man.
Yeah, we talked about them too, and I remember saying, you know, they won me over because I was like, okay, gimmick. That's the first thing I thought, but they totally won me over. I mean, the songs were great.
One of my friends, Sarah Babbitt's,
put on a great
I love
show.
them, but I could see his pubes, and she's talking about the
Yeah, he's got some low cut jeans, Pat. But yeah, I mean, and I love that. I love that they were able to come out here and get that kind of reception, because
of you guys too. So.
We got that kind of reception when they brought us to Omaha, and you know, people are like, "Bring Cold Kingdom back, bring Cold Kingdom back." So it was great to kind of return the favor in full,
right?
You know, because a lot of times when you do like show trades with other bands, if they give you a really good show that they put you on in their home city, it would suck to bring them back. And
where'd you guys play when you were down there too in Omaha?
What was the waiting room?
The waiting room.
Yeah.
What's the size of that venue?
400. It sold out at 400. There.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so it was about an equal show.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really great to see them get over and then you know, throw the fight. It's always great. And then I felt like we had a really strong show, really good show.
Yeah, you did.
So
you had a great show.
It was a great way to kick everything off, and kind of after everything that happened that week, between the bus breaking down and trying to have to figure that out.
So you guys rented a van, right?
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm so much happier that we rented a van. After going through those mountains in Colorado and everything, that bus would have had such a hard time. Yeah, and you know, it was cool that one of the kickers of when the bus broke down was I was pissed because I was like, we built bunks in that thing, and we had a TV and an Xbox, and we tried to make it as livable as possible.
Homie.
Yeah, that we could live in it for around a month. And so when we had to rent the van, and I think it just ended up that van could pull our trailer even better than the bus could, and because the bus would struggle getting up the hills, you know, up the mountains and everything, and then add a trailer on top of that.
And then you guys blew a fucking tire too.
Yeah. I mean, but we'll get to that.
All right.
I've got a topic that says bus experience.
But
that's true.
Yeah, at the end of the day, so all the money that, you know, gas was more expensive. Diesel, it would have cost us more money to.
Was it a diesel van?
The bus was a diesel. The van was not.
Right. Okay.
So, but it takes a lot of money to fill up that bus. So everything that we budgeted for gas for that bus, we ended up and because we did so well on the tour, we were able to turn around and get hotel rooms every night after a little bit.
Right.
So,
wow,
and I
that's
think
a pretty good deal.
I think I mean, as a band, we still have to talk about it. I mean, that's the way that I would like to move forward. As if we go on long runs like that, just budget in hotels, because it's so much nicer to be even
that's
with
awesome.
Even
that's
with
so comfortable.
6 people in a hotel room, like it's still a lot more comfortable.
Hey, we got a hotel room in Rice Lake.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I mean, their show was like, I don't know, but
it didn't go over well.
No, it went great. We had a great time and people loved us, but I mean, it was like we played to maybe like 25 people.
Was this kind of the way the van looked?
No, it was not a Scuba 69. Could have been. We didn't bring our wives or girlfriends out. Then it would have been a Scuba.
You think by budgeting and filling up what you guys would have had with your bus instead of the van, did you? The headache wasn't there, not worried about it, but like you're saying the cost to fill it up, and do you think it was monetarily speaking, budget wise, it was better to get the van then?
Yeah, and I think we'll end up getting just a 15-passenger van in the future.
So,
like when we do,
are you going to get rid of the bus then?
Well, it's done. Is
it done?
The motor is fucked.
Jesus.
So right now we're just
have that.
I know. We still have a lot of money on it.
Really?
But so we're just trying to see what we can get to scrap it now, because the motor.
You guys got it fixed and got it home, and then it wouldn't start again.
They pretty much fixed it enough for us to get it home, because what happened was I'm not a mechanic. I don't know anything about cars or whatever. But
what did they say was wrong with it? It matters. I guess
one of the oil
seals.
No, oil injectors or whatever.
Oh, it was
fried out on it. Yep, yeah. Okay. So I think it ended up, what killed it was there's a bunch of metal shavings all around the motor.
Oh,
on the inside.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So
that'll fuck it up.
So that place in Osseo pretty much fixed it to where it'll start.
They like flushed it or whatever.
Yeah, and then it's amazing that I got it the 2 hours back. I drove it all the way back.
You drove it back?
Yeah. And Evan followed me in his car, and then got it to the practice space, and it went ba-bop.
Wow.
For real.
Like, what the hell? Because we were all just about to get in it to go to our show in Mankato, and it just died on us. It just died out, and that was the last.
Show was the night before the Fineland, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was another just amazing show. Like, we'd played that venue. It's the Mankato Brewery, and we played it once before, but they were debuting a new beer that Bomb Chicka Popcorn or whatever was like working with them, and they had like this big special on this new beer that they were debuting. And when we got there, it was absolutely packed. So we thought, okay, some of these people, because we have a pretty good following in Mankato, but it's a big room. It's a big warehouse.
Yeah, I saw pictures.
And we're like, all right, some of these people are here to see Cold Kingdom, but probably a lot of them are just locals to see, for the beer or whatever.
Right.
And then, so to come back,
release, I guess you'd call it.
And it was just us and another band from Mankato called Arms for Elephants. If you don't know about them, check them out.
Yeah.
And then we played to the same size crowd, so it was amazing to like go like, holy shit, like, it's working.
Wow.
But
Reaping Asmodea played Surly Fest. I don't know how that happened.
I think that's outside, isn't it?
Yeah, it was outside.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Well,
it was fall.
Surly Fest, that's all like heavy metal bands.
Is it?
Like
That's
that.
weird.
Yeah. Because I remember, I think it was last year.
I'm not saying anything against the genre. I'm just saying that's weird that they.
Yeah, because you think about a lot of the people that drink Surly aren't maybe metal people.
I have a story for you guys about South St. Paul.
The guy who started Surly is a huge metalhead.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
good for him.
They wanted to come to South St. Paul, and South St. Paul said no.
For Reaping Asmodea?
No, Surly.
Oh, really?
When they fucking kidding me?
That's how fucked up South St. Paul is.
Why did they say no?
Because it's a good old boy system. They're like, we don't think it's the kind of people we want in this town.
It's like a shining example of a business.
I mean, that's how stupid South St. Paul is.
Yeah, I get it.
I have major issues with our fucking township.
Yeah, and like they won't put like they're knocking down buildings on Southview left and right, but they won't put a business there because of some old ass bullshit. Like some buried.
We're dumb.
Tanks,
we're not sufficient as far as like business wise and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And that leads to some other issues that we like meth.
Hey, I have a healthy addiction.
Okay, marijuana. I'm gonna look up As Lions right now, actually, because
you're not gonna be able to hear them.
No, I know, but I just want to look up some stuff.
They're UK. I was surprised to find out that was Dickinson's son.
Well, and I've heard actually they're not the first ones I've heard about them.
Go to their Facebook.
So lots of good reviews on these guys. So we're gonna check that.
Yeah, I've seen it. Watched a few of their videos.
So
actually,
if you don't know, if you're not already, by the way, following Cold Kingdom, you can just follow them on Facebook, and you get all the information you need from there. And then what are some other venues? I think they've kind of gone through, not SoundCloud, right?
For what?
Well, I'll have Jason kind of fill us in a little bit. What are some good ways that people can kind of follow your band? Can follow Cold Kingdom? I already mentioned Facebook. Easy to find.
All the normal social media, Facebook.
You guys do Twitter?
Danny does Twitter. I think maybe Zach and I are the only ones who don't do Twitter.
Yeah, I have an issue. We have a Twitter account. We don't even use it.
I'm done with all social media.
I'm done. I'm ready to just erase my Facebook.
I don't even look through the Facebook feed anymore. I mean,
it's not productive.
That's
part of the problem. You're doing so much.
It is. It's not productive, and if you kind of have an addictive personality, it's just
you're just wasting time.
It just goes to your default to turn off your mind, and you can be
you're not thinking about. You're not thinking anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just it's just getting Facebook is getting weird. It's just so much, and I've seen it cause so many problems with people. People get in fights over what's on Facebook or who said what on Facebook or
it's dumb.
So and so.
You're not having real conversations. You're making comments on people that said something. Probably you.
I just don't care. I'll promote the band on it.
Me too.
But I just get a bunch of weird people sending me messages and stuff. People that I'm not
Adam?
friends with. Yeah, like Adam.
I'm like, hey, creepy stalker.
hey, Jason, it's me, Adam.
Before, hey.
The hard part is the conflict that I have in my mind about it is it does. I get to see what's going on, and that
does help a little, but
that's very important for me to see what events are going on, what other bands are doing and stuff. But I'm pretty over it.
I have crippling depression.
I have a feeling that'll happen to a lot of us. As we get into our 40s and 50s, I really don't see myself on there when I'm 50.
No.
What would I be doing?
If you're sitting there and you're 50 years old and you're just sitting there wasting your time.
So what does that say about us now? If we're thinking about that as our 50-year-old selves, what does it say about us now when we're just what's this say?
Things change.
I hate that candidate too. Oh, okay. I'm gonna comment on that. This guy's crazy.
I don't know. I don't want anybody to judge me because of what's on social media. A lot of people even get pissed about you talk about your band too much, and I was like, well, I only use it to talk about my band.
That's what you should do. I mean, it's promoting.
Yeah, that's what I use Facebook for, and every once in a while, if I have something funny to say, I'll post it on there.
Yeah, that's me too.
Or I talk sports on there sometimes, but
I used to complain about
even now, I don't care. I don't care what if people agree with me and hey, I like Trubisky. I like the Bears. That the Bears picked him up. A lot of people are like, well, give me shit on it. And that's a lot of my friends, and I know how to take it.
If I give you shit, it's just joking.
How are you going to?
I know how to take that, but it's but even after I posted that, I was like, why did I even post? Why did I even need the world to know how I felt about the Bears? I don't care if anybody. I'm a Bears fan and I like what I like, and that's just always the question that I have for people when I read some of their stats. It's why is it important for you to have people know what you're feeling every moment of the day?
True.
Come and meet me in person, and then make a let's have a relationship that way.
Yeah. So
right?
in other words, it is nice to have the connection. But in the long run, it ends up being less of a connection because you have it.
The connection doesn't mean as much,
right? And it's over the internet. It's not. You're not talking to them on the phone. You're not talking to them in person. So it's
right. Well, I hate talking on the phone too. So please don't call me either, Derek.
Fuckers. Is he still a caller?
Hey, I'm gonna meet up with him on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet up with him pretty soon. I think he's coming over for my birthday. But
wait, is he?
And I can't make that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. No,
we have a show.
We got a second caller calling him.
Caller?
Yeah.
Derek
it's actually they did that.
Are you trying to make a joke? And
yeah. Well, you thought it was funny on Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job, I bet, because that's what it was.
No, not laughing.
Mr. Qualls is on that. You should check it out.
Derek went on a podcast?
No. On Tim and Eric, Awesome Show, Great Job, there's a guy who his name is Qualls, and he makes a bunch of qual jokes. It's pretty lame. It's lame and funny. Lame. That's why it's funny. You
guys should just make this podcast about other podcasts.
We did it.
I know. Well, I heard it last week. I was like, there should be a review of other podcasts.
Well, I talked about Joe Rogan, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
What we decided to do is we want to keep talking about music as kind of our main thing, and then move. We just want to round it out. We're starting to. That podcast, comedy, and music are all pretty good reasons.
Yeah.
But
we're actually lining up some more guests now, right?
We're very good critically.
I like that idea of podcast, comedy, music, and then you're going to talk about movies.
Yeah.
Too,
yes, absolutely.
You guys are huge movie guys.
Which is a slow movie season right now, and that's essentially why we're not talking about it.
I saw Logan while I was out on the trip.
Great fucking movie.
I loved it.
Man. It was a little weird, that it was rated R, and hearing them Professor X swear and
shit. It exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, but it by far exceeded my. I was a little choked up at the end.
You know what was awesome about it? It was the character relationship between.
Yeah, they really did it. They really made you care about
that between Logan and Xavier and the girl was there was nothing more than that fucking bond.
Logan and all those Xavier have always been kind of simmering under this. You know what they're about. Xavier respects him even though he's fucked up.
Yeah.
And of course Logan respects Xavier, right? Wolverine.
They had a weird.
If he ever had a father figure, it was
right. And so that's always been simmering, and then to see that in such a more human way. I thought was pretty cool.
By far one of my favorite X-Men movies.
I watched it while I was in Vegas, and then immediately when I got home, I was like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for a good copy to come across the internet."
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it too.
Steel version.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the questions I had though is, which I didn't really have a lot of time to research. So, all the standalone Wolverine movies. They're all on one timeline, but do any of the actual X-Men movies follow into that timeline? They don't really ever explain that.
I don't know.
The only one...
Because it's getting so convoluted right now.
Well, he's peppered into those from that timeline. So, I mean, they are related.
But is the Logan timeline separate than the Days of Future Past timeline? Or...
I see what
the original
as opposed to Wolverine X-Men versus
now
Logan
you're just
Wolverine.
fucking blowing my mind.
Well,
right
Days of Future Past, look how far into the future they are when all the Sentinels are coming to get them and stuff.
Yep.
But then when you go back to Logan, when he's old man Logan, it's not like that at all.
I think that's
and the X-Men don't exist.
I do have a thing. I'm gonna spoil everybody's life with this, but it's the same as Superman. Logan is not dead. He's regenerating right now. You know what I mean? And I think that's how it ends up being within the same universe.
I don't know.
I explained this before. I don't know if that has any. I don't think Logan has anything to do with
it. I think
really. They took a story and they base it off a comic series called Old Man Logan.
Yeah. Which I can respect that because.
But they kind of rewrit it the way they wanted to, because in that storyline it's like Hulk's rule where they're at. Mm-hmm. The Hulk and his family, he has these inbred offspring and stuff. So that comic is all weird.
It's a little different.
So they didn't take all that; they just took some of that kind of idea. What Jason is asking, I'm not sure if that really fits into the. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think they just decided to do a story, and that's what they did.
I'm trying to learn not to nitpick things as much and just enjoy them for what they are, because I think to enjoy anything these days, you kind of have to have that mentality.
Right.
When you go to see a movie, you can't just think, "Oh, I'm going to see the best movie ever every time."
I mean,
you can be pleasantly surprised.
I'm pretty over all the fucking comic book movies, all the Marvel movies. I turned Doctor Strange off and all that. But
that was a horrible movie.
I was just bored.
The more I think about it, the less I like it. I saw it in the theater.
I had no emotional investment in that movie at all.
Yeah, I was done.
I'm excited for the new Guardians of the Galaxy, but because I think that's just a standalone good series. I don't care if it ties into anything.
I don't even care that it's Marvel. I just thought it was good.
Yeah, I just thought it was.
It was good. I'm worried that the second it might be a huge letdown.
I don't know. You never judge.
I'm going to go in thinking that I'm just going to see what happens. Like when I saw the first one, I kind of knew that it was good, and it still blew me away.
Ooh.
Are you serious?
He's the dude. He's the dude from Overboard.
Yeah. He's the dude in Escape from New York.
That movie. I watched that movie 100 times when I was a kid.
Yeah, I fucking love Overboard.
Coming back to movies, I got two things. They are making another X-Men. It's like the New Mutants, which I saw.
Okay,
I don't know.
cool.
There's not a trailer for it, but
Is X-23 going to be in there?
I'm sure they're going to do a movie off it.
You know, he in the series, in the comics, as far as the Wolverine universe in the X-Men universe, I believe in the comics Wolverine ends up having to kill X-23.
Really? I don't know. I'm not well read on that, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, again,
he kills a bunch of his kids in the comics because they're genetic,
right,
mutations.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of my love of X-Men came from Saturday morning cartoons, not comic books. It was all Saturday morning cartoons. But
the only history I have with comic books is I was an Iron Man guy. I got into Iron Man for a little while. Another thing I wanted to ask you, Jason, is did you see the new Star Wars trailer?
I did. I was just about to say I was going to transition into that because I did watch Rogue One again.
I bought it. I bought a nice fucking copy of that.
Okay, now, and again, not to nitpick, but while I was watching it, which I loved, we saw. Did we? No, actually
we saw Force Awakens together.
Rogue One was actually the very first movie I ever went to the movie theater by myself and saw.
I do that all the time.
I know, but you have no friends.
Hey, gay.
Rewatching it, I still loved every minute of it, but it made me think.
Rogue One.
Yeah,
it's a great movie, man. There's no. I mean, there doesn't have to be a lightsaber or a fucking.
No, there doesn't. Not for me.
No.
Because it's just from that universe, you know, and they did an amazing job of finding a way to tie in a new storyline to explain something that already happened.
Right.
But it rose the question to me of I think. So when I first saw Star Wars, Episode 1, and when what's the Imperial General guy? Why am I blanking on his name?
Episode 1.
The first Episode 4.
Oh, New Hope.
What's the big? Why can't I? Darth Vader and General.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about. The old guy.
Yeah, the old guy that
they did the CGI
his face. Yeah.
Because he was fucking 80 years old when he did the New Hope.
Right. So in the opening,
what was his name, Adam?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking on it right now.
Well, I know what it is. I'm just having a fucking blank too.
He says in it, he's he's talking about Darth Vader using the Force, and he's like,
"Yep, got it."
He's like, "Oh, your ancient religion or your ancient ways or whatever," and that kind of makes Darth Vader seem like he's been around for fucking ever. He's just been.
Well, the practice of being a Sith and Jedi has been around forever. But is what he's saying.
Watching those movies, you feel like it's forever, but then when you see how everything kind of ties in from
just look up
Revenge of the Sith to Rogue One to New Hope, that really isn't that much of a gap because
No. Do you know what Rogue One is pretty much? Episode 3.9.
Well, yeah, I get that. But, okay, so in Revenge of the Sith, we saw when Luke and Leia were born.
Yeah.
And then Rogue One is right before it leads directly into A New Hope.
Yeah, it's pretty much just the precursor.
But so from the time when Darth Vader became Darth Vader to A New Hope, that's really, because in A New Hope, Luke is 19?
He's probably
18?
he's probably in his late
18?
teens or 20s.
That only leaves
honestly
18
when he
years.
made the movie, he was 25, but he's you know how 25-year-olds play high school kids.
Right.
Oh yeah, they do.
So let's say that's only 18 years of Darth Vader being Darth Vader. And when you watch, I felt like the first time I saw A New Hope, you feel like Darth Vader's been Darth Vader for a very long fucking time. Okay, and so another thing was,
it's an interesting point.
Anakin Skywalker at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he's in his mid-20s probably. And then by Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader is an old fucking man. He's got to be in his 70s or something, you know.
Well, he's beat up too.
He's beat up and scarred, but
so he's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be an old man, so it's I don't know. These are the things that I'm trying not to nitpick about, but they're still the things.
Is it Tarkin?
Doesn't necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah. Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah. Yep. Grand Moff Tarkin. But they had in that movie they had some dude play him and they CGI'd over his face. Yeah.
Which
but they did. That dude's voice was real. The guy that played his voice, and he did a fucking voicing it over. He sounded fucking spot on. It was amazing.
Pretty good.
I watched Rogue One when I came back, I watched it with Marlo, and she was freaking out about the CGI. She's like, "Wait, is that guy real?" And I was like, she knew that it looked
something
real,
was
but
off.
something was up.
No, it was better than the Leia CGI, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a little rough for me. I was like,
well, whatever. You have to.
It's just something I reacted to. It's fine.
Yeah. Did you fart like that too?
Oh, that was.
But they did. They spent millions on doing Tarkin, and I thought
it looked good.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a better CGI.
Well, yeah, it's CGI, and you could tell, but it wasn't.
Well, yeah,
it wasn't
obviously
bad
you could
at all.
tell.
It's very good.
You know, but that's
Just
cool
barely,
that they brought
you
him
could barely
back.
tell.
So
I think they made him skinnier in the CGI.
I think they made him look taller than he was.
Maybe that was it.
He was taller than he was in the actual movie because he was hovering over Krennic. Mm-hmm. He was taller than Krennic, and I don't think in A New Hope he wasn't that tall. He was actually pretty short. You know, when he's filming A New Hope, he had these they had these boots for him. Whatever's Tarkin or what was the guy's real name?
Like the actual actor.
Yeah, he wouldn't wear those boots because they're uncomfortable. He had them in slippers, so
I read that.
None of his shots were like below the knee, so like he was just like wearing a suit.
I'm
and then,
not
like,
doing it. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I read that. Okay, so the new Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I have that feeling. Yeah, the first time I watched it, I got goosebumps. Like, oh my
So you're going
God.
in hot like I was. You're going in hard like I am.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I know I don't let myself get overhyped about movies or.
I usually don't,
but
but this
anymore.
one is.
But still,
Such
I'm
a
like,
freak with Star Wars.
I think they're gonna do it right. You know,
think so.
I think
They started to make really good Star Wars movies, in my opinion. The last two, I think, are really.
Yeah, and I would,
they're
close
starting to
to the
make them
best.
look authentic. They look dirty. They look, run down stuff. Not like
that's what I want.
Not
That's-
like everything was so sharp in the new, the 1 through 3 trilogy.
Right.
Everything was sharp and overly done with
Yeah,
computers.
it's too pristine.
Yeah.
Right?
These are like live sets and stuff.
Yeah,
It makes
like gritty.
it feel like you're in the Star Wars
when they
universe.
go to get Rey's dad, which is Mads Mikkelsen, who is one of my favorite fucking actors. I love him, and
You've got a Mads boner.
I got a Mads boner all the time.
good.
Mads
Good.
Mikkelsen,
Rey's dad?
gotta have
Rey's
that.
dad. Yeah, he was what's his name in there?
I think you're talking Jin.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Jin Erso.
Jin Erso.
Yeah, Jin Erso's dad.
Something Erso.
Galen Erso.
Galen, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking of Karen.
when they fly down and get him, like everything's wet and dirty, and they're walking towards him, and he's walking up, and he's just covered in rain and blah blah blah. And you wouldn't see that in 1 through 3. Everything was like nice and clean and blah blah blah. Everything was just gritty and
even
fucking dirty.
When Obi-Wan went to the rain world,
It didn't seem like
that. It was wet.
Yeah.
Boba Fett wasn't, or Jango Fett wasn't.
It was like
wet.
it looked like they put rain in there, and they were like, oh
Yeah. How inconvenient.
yeah. So another thing I want to say is we're getting on the subject of The Last Jedi. I've been watching a lot of YouTube on Mark Hamill, his take on Luke Skywalker, and he said that he didn't agree with what Luke had become at all fundamentally when he read the script.
For the new one?
Yeah. Like, so that's a surprise to me.
But he still did it.
And what I
So they
heard
must
from
have talked to
J.J.
him like, you gotta
Abrams,
give it a
J.J.
shot.
Abrams was still part of like filming this and like on set.
He shits gold, so whatever. I love him.
When he was on set, he's like, Luke or Mark Hamill did such an amazing job. He should win a fucking Oscar for what he did on this new movie. So like him saying that
means a lot.
means a lot. He doesn't just come out and say, hey, this guy did a good job and he should be like this. But like,
Because he's made some really good movies, and he's had some great actors. He's used some great actors.
He's
a good
never
judge
said
of
that
acting.
about anybody he's directed. And he didn't even direct this. He was just part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know?
I don't know. I'm just excited, and I'm not going to make any like. Well, I think that they should do this, and if they don't,
Well,
go
obviously,
in that
no.
direction,
It's just
then
fun
I
to
don't
see
know.
where that road takes you, you know?
Yeah. I just, I think Ren's going to get a little more evil, and Rey's going to get.
And everybody's speculating who fucking
And he'll get more
Snoke
powerful
is, and
and better
I think
at what he does,
Snoke
I
is
think.
just fucking Snoke.
Yeah,
People are like,
could
oh,
be.
it's fucking Anakin, or
I still
like
think
blah
it
blah
might
blah.
be
No, it's no,
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I still think it's the Emperor.
no.
I think when he went down and he irradiated, he like
It's Jar Jar
somebody
Binks,
else's
man.
body.
It's Jar Jar Binks.
That's another.
Sith Binks.
Misa stronger in the Force.
Misa Snoke.
Yeah.
What was he thinking when he made those movies, man?
Yeah.
Fucking Jar Jar was the best. He's my hero.
Well, okay, so, and what's your fucking beef with it, man?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, did you guys ever watch that?
Yes, I loved it.
I grew up on it. I fucking loved it.
Oh my god, that's right.
The
reason
first- okay,
our
so the
generation
first
is
hour-
scared of clowns.
I haven't watched
It's
it in
a
a long
3
time.
hours
so.
fucking. It's a
Yeah.
3 hour series.
Yeah, it's a Stephen King movie.
Yeah, well, they made it in a TV series or whatever it was, and
Yep,
I watched
it was
it.
like
The
The
first
Stand,
hour is
kinda.
just introducing the characters.
Well, that's what's the best about books.
That's a fucking 2 episodes
well,
on
that's why
fucking
you
TV,
read
man.
books, though. And then I mean it is hard to transfer. I'll give you that. Onto the. It is hard to transfer onto the screen. That's why Stephen King movies aren't that great.
So half of the movies when they're kids, and the other half is when they come back as
The
adults.
second half, yeah.
Yeah.
The second half is
I
when they come
love
back
the
adults.
scenes with the kids.
And I never finished it because I fell asleep.
Yeah,
I
the
love
ones
the
with the
scenes with the
adults
kids.
wasn't as...
The ones with the adults is a little rough because the actors in those movies, like Dean Koontz and Stephen King movies, are usually not that good. Like the best actors in a Dean Koontz one were, no, maybe there was a Stephen King one.
Hey, the Green Mile was
Dreamcatcher.
Stephen King.
Dreamcatcher
That's good.
was.
I like
Koontz.
that movie.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I was trying to think of... That's
It's
Duddits,
Dreamcatcher.
right?
Yeah, Duggets.
Yep.
Duddits.
Yeah, Duddits.
Man,
That's actually a good movie, man.
It's a very good. Well, that's
Well,
Dean
you can't say that
Koontz.
because
That's
Green
Dean
Mile is a short story by fucking Stephen King too.
too.
Yeah.
Like he's got
And
good
Stand
movies.
By
Right,
Me.
they started making better movies, but most of those book to movies, they fuck them up.
I was trying to think of what that movie was called for the longest time. The one
Dreamcatcher.
Duddits.
That's a good movie, man. I will watch that.
Very good.
It's a great movie, man.
It's a great book too.
The Mist.
The Mist is a good book.
No, it's a fucking... Well, it's a
I've
horrible
never
movie.
seen the movie.
Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, I think he is in it. When the
Or
Mist...
is that The Fog? It's one of the two he's in. It's either The Mist or,
Or
The
The
Fog.
Happening.
You're thinking of
The Happening.
I think you're thinking of Perfect Storm.
No.
Well, there's
Are you
that.
No.
There's all the reality terrorist movies.
The only
they
reason
said
that
no.
kept me going on it was Tim Curry playing fucking Pennywise.
That fucker is scary. And
Tim
he's
Curry is such an
He
underrated
is.
actor.
He's the guy that
How
played.
about the
remember,
preview, though, for the new one?
Remember when I was talking about movie Legend with Tom Cruise?
yeah,
He plays
okay.
the devil in Legend too.
Okay,
It's the same dude. It's the
Yeah,
same
I
dude.
like him. I know.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome, man. And he was in Rocky. He was the fucking main dude in Rocky Horror Picture Show too.
Yeah, I didn't realize
He's a
that until I
very-
saw
You know
him.
the guy in the
Curry.
fucking leather and like.
Yeah, he's a very character. So he's what the
Well, he's like what
Character
he's,
actor
he's like
of
what
the generation.
Sudeikis is now. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah, I got
Andy
you.
Sudeikis
Yep.
plays
Andy Serkis, I think.
the circus or
Yep,
whatever.
I think you're right.
Yep.
It's Serkis, but
And Cumberbatch is
I
kind
love
of like
him.
that too.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. Who Benedict and Mads Mikkelsen were both in that horrible movie
How
called
does he do that with his?
Doctor Strange.
How do you get that low?
I don't know.
You might be able to do it. Smog.
Yeah, he played. Benedict played Smog.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that the middle of his name is Dick
Is it?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh God.
No, you're 5.
I am 5, but it makes me giggle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Totally. Hey, I know where I'm at.
I thought I'm really excited for the new It, but yeah, I don't know. And maybe it was because I was a little kid when the first time I saw
Yeah,
it.
that's probably why. When we watch it now, you'll just be like, especially the adult version. Their acting is just horrendous.
Acting is bad,
horrendous.
but it's I
and
still
they're
love
not
it.
They're not all B actors or anything. You got John Ritter in it.
There's very scary scenes though in the adult ones where it's just all suspense, because nothing's really happening. It's just like holy shit.
And what was this thing with
people get killed? But
with him? So the clown Pennywise, was he like drowned or something? Because he's like, come down and swim with us.
He's just
let's
a demon.
float. Yeah, he was a demon, but like he was always talking about.
yeah,
come
he's just
down
trying to
and
take souls. Like,
Yeah.
I was just trying to take souls. But I think the brilliant thing about why it was so effective when the first movies came out was because, like nowadays horror movies are like, it's a scary clown. They make it look like a scary clown.
Right.
Pennywise was kind of just looked like a clown with like a
Yeah,
little
until
bit of
it-
scary
Yeah, and he
features.
like
Yeah.
Very
dumpy-
subtle scary
But when,
features.
when, he,
Funny,
when he
dumpy
went to go
outfit.
in to like kill, his teeth would get sharp.
Yeah.
They would show it like, like his teeth changed.
Yeah, he was fucking cool.
No, I mean, I'm not
scary.
saying that part was bad. That's
I
what
know.
kept me watching it was Pennywise was the reason I kept on watching it. He did such a good fucking job in that. Like, but everybody else was like, oh, come on, man, I can't do it.
It is hard.
The fuck?
I will say that there's not a lot of those books transferred into movies that I will watch.
Yeah.
It's true, but
there's not
Dreamcatcher was
there's
very
not
good.
a lot of movies that were originally books that I will read.
Plus, right. Plus, if you watch The Stand pretty much sucks.
That was another. I've watched that movie
the
too.
The book is fucking.
Oh, it's like that's
one of the best books.
Yeah,
I heard of the genre.
Tommyknockers. Remember Tommyknockers?
You know what? I never
read that
one.
Pet Cemetery.
Either read or saw.
Yeah,
Pet Cemetery, of course, is
Sleepwalker. You guys ever seen Sleepwalkers? That was another one of his.
No.
They did a movie too.
I think I have.
It's the mom and the son. They move into a new town and they're like cat people. They turn into cats and then they. Like,
I never watched it because I thought
that's
I'd
the
hate
Broadway
it.
play Cats.
You'll love it. It was
but the
better
mom
than
and son
Cats.
in that like sleep with each other and he like gets this girlfriend and it's all weird and it's goofy. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Like listening to while I was on the road and stuff. I really enjoyed listening to the podcast and just fucking listening to Lance's stupid Minnesotan accent and
me being a 5-year-old
because it was like it was like I was here hanging out with you guys.
Was that like Fargo? Did I sound like Fargo or what?
No, you just have a stupid thick Minnesota accent.
Oh really?
Which is funny. There's a lot of nights.
Is it more pronounced when you're away from Minnesota? You can hear it better.
I mean, I don't know. I just noticed it when I was listening to the podcast. Lance's O's. But it was funny one night on the tour. I like it. We were playing and this lady comes up and this happened to me a couple of times and she comes up to me and she goes, "Oh man, you guys were great. You're amazing tonight. And I just love your guys' accents." I was like, "Oh, our Minnesotan accents?" And she goes, "No, aren't you from London?" I was like,
"Oh."
I was like, "What? No. You're." She's like, "Aren't you the lead singer of As Lions?" I was like, "No, they're right there. This is Cold Kingdom." She goes,
"Remember?"
Then she picks up the CD and she's like, "Oh, I liked you guys too." Yeah.
Fuck.
But it happened to me a couple of times.
Jason sounds so UK.
Walking through in Tucson, walking through the crowd, this guy stops me and he goes, "You take a picture with me, man?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." We take the picture. He goes, "Man, As Lions, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, dude, rock on."
You just gotta roll. Don't you just gotta roll with it at that point?
Oh, it was so funny, man, because even somebody posted a picture to our Facebook page of Steph, the bass player of As Lions, and it was a picture of her son or her daughter or whatever with Steph, and they tagged it to our page. I said, thanks so much for taking a picture with little Bobby Joe or whatever the hell its name was. And it was just the whole time. It's funny, you know. And it's not like, I mean, we're playing and we had our scrims on stage that say Cold Kingdom, you know, but people still just get it mixed up.
Yeah.
But
like me funny. And many bands.
Hey, Jason, it's me, Adam. Hey.
I love As Lions.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I got to say something real quick. It's nice having somebody on that is in the industry, knows what they're talking about, has some great stories to share.
I kind of know what I'm talking.
And it's cool though for me because I just get to sit back and listen.
Right.
And really, I don't have to put a lot out there, and we get a lot of good stories and a lot of fun. It's great to have you as always.
Man. I love coming and if you guys,
you can be a regular on the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, what happened with Steve? Did you guys kill Steve? Steve died.
Yeah.
Steve died.
He died. He got hit by a bus.
Steve dead.
Steve drove off a cliff and died on impact.
Oh, that's right.
War Machine killed him.
War Machine killed him.
No, the jury's still out on that one. So we love Steve, and we'll see where that goes.
We'll always love Steve, and we're working on it.
We're not officially announcing anything yet. Because
everybody wants to be like. Everybody wants to be like, I want to do a podcast. And I was one of those guys. I want to do a podcast. I'm just going to set it up. But it's hard work, and getting everybody together and doing this it really is
I've always
hard
wanted
to
do
start,
this for a long
especially.
time.
It is hard. Like we talked about how we have to plug away because a lot of people don't understand it. Just like music. It's just not,
it's hard to be in a band.
I'm not as talented. I don't have like the skills that you guys have. Thank you so much.
You ain't good looking either.
But it's like, you know what I say. I got a face for radio and a voice for silent movies. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's harder to start up than you think it would be, and all the stuff that we've done so far, and we're still not even to our full level yet. Exactly.
Band is like
just constant.
You want to punch somebody in the face half the time.
I always describe being in a band.
Which person here do you want to punch?
No, I don't have it. I don't have any qualms.
Lance and I are no longer in a band, so
I don't have any qualms with anybody in my band right now. But once in a while, you just want to go.
Yeah.
You know.
I always describe being in a band with somebody.
I'll remember that.
Is like being in a relationship with 5 other people. And being in a relationship with one other person is tough.
Right.
And then you throw, so many different personalities, so many different, everybody wants something different, but the thing that brought you together was a common goal or a common dream or
the music,
a mission. Yeah, man, it's the music brings you together.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the other side of it that people don't realize is that being in a band, if you want to be a successful band, you have to treat it like a business. And it has to be just as important as your job,
Right.
If somebody isn't good at one part, I mean, this is your company, and you're only as strong as your weakest link, as cliche as that is to sound, and really coming from me because a lot of times I'm the weakest link, but and I'm just the bass player. But
Jason, you bring a lot to that.
No, but it is, and it is really hard, and it's something you adjust to, and that it's always changing, and it wasn't easy. People saw the social media stuff, people saw the the Snapchats and whatnot, and we were talking about how great it was and what an amazing time we had out on tour. But I mean, it was hard at times. There was nothing big happened. Like, we didn't like get into screaming matches or anything, but some days you just
stay
go like,
away from me.
Even if nobody did anything wrong, there was days when I was like, I just want to be like alone by myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can't, because when you're done with the show, you go back and you have to sleep in a hotel room with 5 other people, which we'll say 3 out of those 6 snored really fucking loud.
You need a CPAP.
Yeah. But
you can tell me off who snores like me off.
It was Danny. Danny snores like a goddamn trucker.
Does she?
No, Danny sleeps like an angel. But yeah, it's not easy, but sometimes the benefits outweigh the the hardship.
Sure. Yeah, it's how you look at it after the whole thing's being said and done.
Yeah. We got to do something that other people.
I'll just
always be able to tell that story.
Here's where you made it.
That's the best part.
Most bands like tour maybe locally or around a couple states, but you already made it to that. Most bands don't make it to the level you already made it.
Yeah. I'm thankful for that every fucking day.
Right, you should be. So with that, I think we should wrap it up.
You guys want to shut her down?
Yeah,
I think we're over time.
I think we
have some editing.
Owe a debt of gratitude to Jason for coming again.
Absolutely,
thank you guys.
So, and we'll have him on again soon. So,
absolutely,
thank you.
Another 5 episodes.
Yeah,
right on.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Yep.
I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. A brand new house along the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new chin that baby built on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me who do you love.